Hi, this is Adrian with Telepractice Tools, and today I'm going to be doing a brief tutorial on how to use Zoom. I understand that there are a lot of different options when it comes to telepractice platforms. Zoom is a very popular one, and it's the one that I get the most questions about. So today I thought I'd record a tutorial just to give you a quick tour of how to use Zoom. So right now I'm in my Zoom room and I'm just sharing my video. I'm going to show you some of the features that you can use to make your telepractice sessions fun and interactive for your clients. So you don't see any tools or menu bars right now on my screen. They like to hide until you need them. So I'm going to just hover my mouse. As soon as I move it, you'll see my tools show up right along the bottom. So I just wanted to show you some of the features, and the first one that we'll use is share screen. So let's take a look at what options I have for sharing my screen. If I click on share my screen, you'll see whatever it is that I have open as potential options. The first thing that I'm going to do is actually share a web page. So I have Boom Cards open ready to play, and I will click on share. So here you'll notice that it makes my video smaller, and this is now a little window that I can move around and put it wherever I'd like. Because it's just me in the room right now, I can actually resize it if I wanted to by just clicking on the bottom. The arrow pops up and then I can make it larger or smaller. Once you have a client in here with you, you'll notice that it has both of your videos. When you have two showing, it will not give you the option to resize. But if you just want to show your client, you can definitely resize that, and it'll help you when you're trying to look at their mouth for their articulation sounds. All right, so now that I'm sharing my screen, I have a lot of tools available to me. If you're doing an activity and you're just going to show what's on your screen to the client or the student, then you don't have to do anything extra. This is a sample free boom card deck for winter that I've created. So I'm just going to move the pieces. I have control. I'm sharing my screen and the client just sees what I'm doing. The alternative, I have a couple things that I can do here. I can annotate the screen, or I can give the client control. So if I annotate, that is really just going to give you the option to draw or to type onto the screen as it is. So once again, the menus hide until you need them. So let's go ahead, and if I hover along the top, here's my menu bar, and I'm going to go over to Annotate. Annotate brings up a new set of options for you, and these are things that you can use also on the whiteboard, which we'll take a look at later. But if you're going to have something that you're sharing on your screen, maybe you want to put some numbers on top. So I can choose for draw. The squiggly line is just like a pencil, and go to format to change your color. And then you can use your mouse, or if you have a touch screen, you can write on it. And I'm putting my numbers or anything else you need to use to annotate the screen. The great thing about annotation is that your clients can also annotate on their side as well, as long as you have that setting enabled in your meeting settings, which I think is a default. So the alternative is text. So text lets you use your keyboard and type in a message. And then I'm just going to click off of it, and there it is. Same thing, all of these annotation tools are available for your client to use at the same time. If you're working with a group of kids at once, you can have all of them annotate at the same time or take turns. So if I choose stamp, it's going to show you arrow, star, heart, check mark, X, and question mark. So let's say, yep, you got it right. So I'm going to click on check, and now I can put that wherever I'd like. And the check marks make it easier, so you don't have to try to draw it perfectly. So these are just some of the options, and I definitely encourage you to play around with this. If you're going to do a game like tic-tac-toe, maybe you want to use the O's. If you don't have a game such as a boom card and you just want to pull one up on the whiteboard, or have a PDF. You can put in the O's and then use the straight line for your X's. So there are a lot of options with the Annotate tools. When I'm all done and want to get rid of my drawings, I just go to Clear. You can clear all drawings or just clear my drawings. So if I'm in here with a student, I can have my drawings go away, but theirs stay. Another great feature is to save. So if I wanted to save this, maybe we want to use it later, or I want to send it home for practice, just click on Save and it saves it automatically for you. It's going to be in the Zoom folder on your computer. All right, so let's go ahead and clear off my drawings, and I'm done with my annotation tools. So I just need to click on this X to get it to go away. All right, so that's how you share your screen and also how you annotate when you're sharing your screen. Next, we'll take a look at how to give control to your clients. So if I have a client in the session, I can give them remote control of my screen. So I'm going to go to my tools that are hiding at the top and select remote control. Now this will only show for you if there is a client in your session. I have myself logged in on my iPad, so I do have someone in the session. So I'm going to select remote control and then give mouse keyboard control to, and the name is demo here. So I'm just going to select that. So now on my iPad, I can, as my client, control the screen. So you can do this if it's on an iPad or computer, but it doesn't usually work for Chromebooks unless they make some updates in the future. But as of January 22nd, it doesn't work for Chromebooks. This particular one, we're using drag and drop. If you have an option where they just click on the screen, sometimes that's easier, but we'll try it with the drag. So I'm going to select one of these snowflakes, and this is me on the iPad controlling it, and move it over. And then I'd say, okay, you got it, now it's my turn. And then I take my turn, and you'll see it change to the top, at the top, waiting for demo to control your screen. So that means that because I just controlled it, then they have to get their turn again. So now it says demo is controlling your screen, if you'll notice at the top. So that just lets you know, even though you'll see their mouse moving, it lets you know that the client is controlling your screen. And now demo just moved that over. So that's how you can make this interactive, by sharing your screen and then giving the client remote control so then they can take their turn on their device. All right, so what I did want to show you while I have my demo client in here is what it looks like if you have two videos showing. So I'm just going to go over here. I don't actually have the video on my iPad, but I just wanted to show you this is where it would show up. And so you'll see that it's the two squares, top and bottom, or two rectangles for the two videos, but I can't resize this right now because it's showing both of them. But if it's only showing one, that's when I have the option to resize it. And if you just want to show one, you click on the single rectangle and it just shows whoever's speaking. It'll show my client instead of showing me, and that's who I really need to see. I don't need to see myself, but I need to see my client's mouth, just like if you're in person. All right, so that's how it works if you're going to want to resize your video. Now we're going to take that away. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because now I want to share it in a different way. So now I'm going to share a PDF. So if you've downloaded something from Teachers Pay Teachers or any other website and you have a PDF document, you actually share it a different way. Share screen, and then I'm going to select that document to open. Because it's already open on my computer, it's an option of what I want to share here. And now I'm sharing this. It's a PDF. This is a Would You Rather activity, and this is actually one of the activities that you can get for free if you are a member of my website. It's in the free resources, but this one you would interact either verbally or you can use those annotation tools again. So let's say you're in a group session and you want the students to take their turns answering would you rather. You might want to let them annotate, and then they can choose their stamp or their heart to put on their side. And so they'd say, I would rather have fire in a fireplace. And then they'd say why. So there are a number of ways to use PDFs and to interact with them in your session. Annotate is one of the options, but another option is to actually type into the fields on the document. So if I have this heart here and I'm like, oh, I want to get rid of it. Uh-oh, it's not moving. So I need to go to the select tool and then select it, and I can move it that way. If I want to delete it, just press delete on my keyboard once it's highlighted. All right, just wanted to show you that. So let's take away the annotation tools. That's what I need to get rid of, or I can leave them up and just go to my mouse so I can actually select something on my screen, but then it leaves them there. So I want to clear all my drawings. This is an example of a worksheet. I've downloaded this one from education.com. So for me, I'm able to use the fill-in sign in my PDF program and then just adding text here, and I can type right into the lines. Kip was careless. So I'm using my keyboard to type in. And you can either type this in for the client or give them control of your screen so they can type it for you. All right, so that's just to show you another option if you have a PDF document. Even if you use one of the easel documents that you can use through Teachers Pay Teachers, it does make it very interactive. So it acts more like a web page than a PDF because you can move the pieces around. But either way, you either have control or you give the client remote control. If you want the client to just use the annotation tools, you don't have to do anything special because they can use the annotation tools at any time. They'll just have to pull it up on their screen. All right. So let's go ahead and stop sharing. And I want to show you another option for sharing your screen. Next, we're going to use a whiteboard. So I go to share screen again, and whiteboard is my next option. Just as the name implies, it's just a white screen. So this is where you can use all of these lovely annotation tools. Maybe you're having the client give you a list of words or work on forming grammatically correct sentences or following directions, or maybe you're just giving them an opportunity to draw as their reward. Sometimes I will do guided drawings, so I will draw on the whiteboard while I have the client draw on their pen and paper. So I'll say, okay, let's draw a snowman. So what shape do we need first? And so while they're drawing on their side, I will also draw just to participate. This is a great option if you don't have a document camera and you still want to be able to draw as if you did have a pen and paper. So this sharing whiteboard is really endless. If you were in person and had a blank sheet of paper or a chalkboard or even a blank smartboard, this is what you would use. So now let's take that away. I'm going to stop sharing. And some people have asked, how do you use apps in Telepractice? So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can definitely share your screen, and Zoom makes it super easy. So I'm going to go to share screen. And I have to have my iPad on the same network that my computer is on. And you'll notice the options for sharing. iPhone, iPad is up in the top right. And then select Share. Here it gives you the next steps. So now I go to my iPad, which I have in my hand here, and I have to slide down from the top right to pull up the menu and tap on screen mirroring. And then I see Zoom, ADRIE, and select that. and it's going to show whatever is showing on my iPad on the computer screen. So voila, that was super easy. And now I'm able to interact with the iPad apps just as I would if I were sharing a web page. So because the client doesn't have my iPad, they can't touch anything or move anything, but you can make them feel like they're involved just by participating verbally, or even if you have them annotate using the tools that we looked at just a moment ago. So that's how you share your iPad or iPhone. That was super easy. If it doesn't work, just make sure that you are logged into the same wireless network on your device that you are on your computer. If you don't have the latest version of Zoom, you might need to uninstall it and reinstall it, and it should work for you. So let's go ahead and stop sharing that. Next, I wanted to show you if you have a document camera. I do have a different video to show you different ways to use a document camera, but I just wanted to show you now where to go to do that. So it's not on the main sharing page, but if you look at the top, you have Basic, Advanced, and Files. So I'm going to select Advanced. And this is where you see Content from second camera. So that's how you would share your document camera if I had one attached right now, which I don't, but I just wanted to show you where to find it. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And the last thing I just wanted to show you are a few tips and tricks. So I am going to just give you, let me take this other video away, just give you a quick tour of the menu down at the bottom for some easy troubleshooting. So right now I am using my headset and my webcam that's built in. So if I wanted to do anything with the audio settings, I would just click on this arrow beside the microphone and you'll see this long list of options. One of the biggest things is to make sure that you have the correct microphone selected. Usually you have whatever is built into your computer if it has a built-in mic, and then if you have a headset, and even my webcam has a built-in mic too. So I have all of these options. And then your speaker is going to be what you hear through. So I'm hearing through my headset. The sound is not coming through my computer speakers, but it's coming through my headset. And then if you wanted to test it, if something's not working properly or you just want to make sure that the sound is correct, you can do this, or you can have your clients do it. Test speaker and microphone. So it plays a sound for you. Make sure you hear it and say yes, and then you can record something.
So it plays a sound for you.
You hear
Make
it
sure
back.
you hear it and say yes, and
then you end your test. So that's one way to test your audio settings. If something's not right, then you can troubleshoot and just try to change the device. Next is video. So same thing, I have a menu right here beside the video camera icon. And I have a couple options. I have my webcam that's plugged in, and then the integrated camera is the one that's built into my computer. So I'm choosing the one that's plugged in. If you have two webcams, make sure you have the right one selected. And I just like the one that's plugged in. I feel like it's more versatile and it gives a clearer picture, but a lot of times these newer computers have a great camera as well. The other features are the virtual backgrounds. So virtual background is what I'm using right now. It's really just a blurred background, but you can use other virtual backgrounds. I do have a YouTube video for that too if you want to know how to use virtual backgrounds. But if I selected none, you just see my room. And then if I select blur, it just blurs it just to make it look a little cleaner and neater. And then I have a lot of backgrounds uploaded here. So let's say I wanted to do farm animals. There it is. If you want step-by-step directions for how to use virtual backgrounds, check out my other YouTube video. The link is in the description. So now that I have my virtual background that I'm using, I can take that away. And the other option that I wanted to show is when you're sharing your screen, if you're sharing videos or something that has sound, even if it's a game and you want the student to be able to hear it or the client on the other side, then you'll need to make sure that you're sharing your audio also. So I'm going to go to share screen, and then before I click on that share button, I need to check share sound. So that makes sure that the client hears everything that's coming from whatever you're sharing. You can even share the sound when you're sharing an iPad app too. A lot of times they have sound. So just make sure you click on share sound and then share. If you don't have that box checked, you just need to stop sharing. Click on it and then share again so your client can hear the sound. Now let's say you're waiting in your room, the client hasn't showed up and you're wondering if they got your invite. You can go to participants, click on this little arrow, and invite is what you would go to. So you have a few options. You can either send an email, or maybe you just want to copy the link. You can copy the invitation and then open your email system to send it to them. And you see all of your information, the meeting ID and the passcode if there is one. So this is a quick and easy way to make sure that you send a message to your client if they are not in your room and you want them to come or need to send them the link. Copy invite link or copy invitation and then just paste it using Control V or Command V, depending on whether you're on a PC or a Mac. If you want to send a message to your client, if you're in the session with them, you can just type in the chat, hi, and they can respond. If you have more than one client in your room, you can send a private message. If you have a group session and you just wanted to troubleshoot or communicate with one of your clients, then make sure that it says direct message just to that one client. And then if you want to send it to everyone, then you can go back to everyone. And that's the chat. If you want to keep this open, you can, but you don't have to. You can just X out of it. And then if you have a chat, you'll see the notification down below. It'll have just a red number. The last thing is to record. Any session, if you want to and need to record, that is an option. So just go to record. If you have limited storage for your Zoom account, you may not want to record to the cloud for a long session. I like to record on the computer, and then it stays in your Zoom files on your computer and you can access it at any time. And if you want to send it to the client, you can just attach the video. If you record to the cloud, you have an option of sending a link. And this is great if you want to work on something with the client and then have them review how they did and then talk about it again later. Or if you're going to need to collect a language sample or some sort of speaking sample for an assessment as well. So this is the end of my tutorial for how to use Zoom to make your telepractice sessions fun and interactive. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments, and please like this video and subscribe to our channel so you will be updated as soon as we release any new videos. Bye for now.